Hello everybody, how are you going? And welcome back to another RMR, this one being Welcome to Mississauga. I believe I pronounced that correctly, but either way, Rick is just going to take it and twist it to his own little world.
Welcome to Mississauga, Ontario, one of the very few debt-free cities in this country. For the past 30 years, the mayor of Mississauga has been Hazel McCallion. Hazel holds a political record unmatched by anyone in this country and perhaps the world. She has won 11 consecutive elections, and she's not done yet. This week, the Mercer Report attempts to keep up with 88-year-old Hurricane Hazel.
That is awesome. Oh, what's he going to say?
Everywhere.
She's everywhere. Man, at 88, after 11 elections, that just sounds like an awesome life. Like just the career, the spanning, what you would have achieved, what you would have seen, what you would have been a part of. That just, I'm so interested to see what this entire thing is about, because welcome to Mississauga. I think that's what he said. Maybe I pronounced it wrong, maybe I got it right. But either way, that's what I thought it was going to be about, was the town, not this one woman. Wow. Alrighty then. Mississauga Civic Gym, nice ice rink. Don't tell me to go.
And I'm now standing here in the inner sanctum of Mississauga, the mayor's office, and I'm joined by the mayor, Mayor Hazel McCallion. Hello,
welcome.
How are you, Your Worship?
Just great.
Nice to see you.
Welcome.
You are a political legend, but unlike most political legends, you're not retired.
No.
You're the mayor.
I'm the mayor.
And you've been elected 2-3 times now.
I've been mayor 31 years.
31 years.
Yeah.
How do you stay in office for 31 years?
Well, you have to look after your people and keep your taxes down and bring lots of jobs into the city.
Wow. And that's what you've done.
Yeah, and develop a waterfront and so forth.
Now, Mississauga, for people who aren't familiar with Mississauga, you're what? You're the 6th largest city in the country, I think?
In Canada, 3rd largest in Ontario.
And your debt is?
Free. Debt-free.
Debt-free. A city with no debt.
And
see, I would love to know how that compares to the other cities. Like, are we talking a debt-free? Are we talking massively in the green? Are we talking just out of the red? Did she do it 30 years ago? Like, there are so many different things there. Either way, crazy. I want to know how that actually then affects the economy. If you are debt-free, are you just able to, I guess, just have expenditure and go, yeah, we do want to put a footpath in there, and so we don't have to wait 10 years. We can just do it. We don't have to sell this road to buy that building. We don't have to do any funny games like that. We can just do what we want to do, and like she said, just support people and actually listen to people. It's so good. It's so awesome. And honestly, it was amazing that he said, you're a legend, but you're still in office. But usually people, I mean, maybe not legends, but usually politicians, if they're renowned, so to say, aren't renowned for good things. And as much as being a mayor, I don't know if that counts as a politician, but if you put it all in the same umbrella, being renowned as a good politician, especially one that was able to serve continuously for 31 years, 32, I'm not sure, 33, 35, 40, I don't even know how long she truly went for. Judging by the quality of this video, I believe that it's not the newest of videos, it's at least 15 years old. Wow, okay then, that does put me, or at least give me some perspective, but realistically, just to be renowned and just proven that you have made a good city, that you've continuously just driven it forward and done development, done jobs, everything that everyone is always just dreaming of. So I do just need to know exactly where this is. It's in, wow, I knew, obviously she said Ontario, but I didn't expect it to be right next to Toronto. Not like that. I mean, that's, in my eyes, basically Toronto, and clearly it's not, but kind of is at the same time. Like, if it was over here, then I would go, yeah, that's separate. But it's in the same kind of expansion.
And your debt is?
Free. Debt-free.
Debt-free.
Crazy.
A city with no debt.
And 700 million in reserves. Not bad, eh?
Wow.
I guess it's a city, but man, that could do
outlasted 8 prime ministers.
Oh my gosh. I didn't realize that.
Oh, you have to Google yourself. 8 prime ministers. Wow. Some of them a couple of different times each.
Yes, that's true.
That's amazing. You're like Castro, except you still come to work every day.
Oh, definitely.
Tell me, Your Worship, how many mayors have bobbleheads?
None. I don't. None, really? None.
David Miller has a bobblehead over in Toronto?
I don't think so.
Okay, now, Hazel, we're out in front of City Hall. You have an ice rink.
Awesome.
But you're not doing this just because we're here.
Sometimes I go down to an arena in the daytime and get a hockey stick and a puck and get out on a sheet of ice all by myself.
That's just so cool. Why do we not... it's just so cool. There's no other way to really say it, is there? My goodness, she just seems like the perfect person to be in leadership. Like, clearly, I don't know all the context, but clearly has plenty of qualifications, plenty of integrity, plenty of everything that you were always looking for, plenty of drive to turn up for 31 years, starting when you were 57? So to start being a mayor when you're 57 and then to carry it through for that long, still getting out on the ice, still caring for the people, still knowing maybe not every little fact like she was able to outlast 8 prime ministers, but man, oh, it's so cool to see.
Get a hockey stick and a puck and get out on a sheet of ice all by myself.
You were a hockey player.
Yes.
You were a professional hockey player.
In Montreal.
You played for the Habs. And so you were a part of a professional women's hockey team.
Yeah, that's right. I was paid $5 a game.
Was that good money?
It was in those days.
I was going to say, I was wondering.
You got the skates in the trunk of the car.
I keep them in the trunk of the car because when I go to drop a puck, they want me to put my skates on and circle around, you know. They love to see the mayor on skates.
When Stephen Harper drops a puck, he doesn't put the skates on.
Oh, well, yeah.
When politicians drop the puck, they don't put the skates on.
Oh, they're too old.
Yes. This is the kind of attitude that people just need to be having more. And you don't see it anywhere else. Of course not. It takes such a particular person. Like, so many people get into politics, like I said, in the broader umbrella, for kind of all the wrong reasons. Some people start with good intentions and then quickly get caught up with the games that you might have to play. But she just knows the kind of game she wants to play. She just wants to be out on the ice. Man, to be part of a professional women's hockey team, well, they didn't say when, but she clearly, for her whole life, she's just been playing. She just loves it. To be carrying around the skates in the back of the car. Oh, she is incredible. No wonder she's been elected not 31 times, but for 31 years in a row. It's just a no-brainer. Why would you not want this woman just going, yes, she clearly, like I said, has all the credentials and the delivering and personable skills and sporting credibility and everything else. Like, man, the career that she has had, not even just politically, but then professionally in terms of for sporting as well. And who knows what else she would have done if she's 88. At least 15 years ago, she certainly would have seen her fair share of change. And she certainly also would have been the face and the backbone of a lot of that change as well. Oh, is that
good save, Hazel? Good shot, Hazel.
Thank you.
Have you ever been injured?
No.
Other than being hit by a truck?
Yeah.
You were hit by a truck, Hazel. What?
That's right.
What happened?
Well, I was crossing the road in Streetsville, and this truck came around the corner, and he didn't see me.
Wow.
So he hit me, and down I went.
And how long ago was this?
2 years ago.
And you were okay?
Yeah, oh, sure.
And what happened to the truck?
It went in for a repair.
I was going to say, I bet it was split in half or something. It just, some unbreakable spirit that she's got. It doesn't matter what you just get knocked over with. Man, the truck definitely had to go in for repair. 2 years ago, at her age, that could have been very dangerous. There were so many complicated factors that could have occurred. But like I said, when you were 1 in a million, 1 in a billion kind of person, nothing like that can knock you down. And I've only just realised it, but it's lovely and refreshing in a way that as much as this is an RMR, Rick's barely in it. He's kind of just in the background being an interviewer, but they're not making any jokes with him. They're not showcasing any of that side of Rick. He's kind of just happens to be around while they, I guess, document just the day-to-day ongoings of this wonderful woman. It's crazy how it's just, he's the star of the show, but she can just so quickly just take it from him so effortlessly. And some people have that with Rick, but she's just there and on another level, isn't she?
Okay.
On the bike, lovely.
Just so you know, while we're talking, if you continue at that pace, I won't be able to keep up. Hazel, are you someone who doesn't campaign or someone who never stops campaigning?
Ooh. Never stop campaigning. In other words, I always say I win the next election the day after the last one.
Now, another important question. Do you know how to reduce the tension on this? Because my legs are hurting. I'll keep up, don't you worry. I'll keep up. No,
it's all about the campaign. Wow. I've never really thought about those two schools of thought. Is someone that doesn't campaign, I guess, resting on your laurels of it as an individual, letting your actions dictate your campaign, compared to someone who only campaigns and just plays the marketing game, compared to her, which I guess is letting her actions dictate it, but then in the right way. That she's going, look what I can actually accomplish. Not promising this and then not delivering that. Not delivering this, but no one knows why because you haven't marketed it at all and no one has really any personable skills with you because you're just behind closed doors. None of that. She's just out in the front and center and she wins the next election the day after. She makes sure that she just keeps the ball rolling. And clearly it works. When you just keep that snowballing and just continuing on down the hill, there's no stopping it. Not for 31 years, or at least 31 years.
Now this is amazing. Look at this.
What has he got?
This is incredible. What is this?
Oh, wow.
I've never seen Mississauga look so good. Look at this.
That's the future. We had a plan, so we made a model.
Is it okay if I get
Surely not.
Oh, really something, isn't it?
It's good, isn't it? Have you ever done this?
No, I've never done
I have a question.
it. Yes.
Why haven't you retired?
Why haven't I retired?
I don't mean that in a bad way, but I'm like most Canadians. I'm not 88, but I often think, oh my God, when do I get to retire? Like, you know, Freedom 55, all that stuff. Why haven't you retired?
55.
Well, first of all, there's still challenges for Mississauga, quite a few. And secondly, I don't know what I do. And therefore, I want to keep busy.
That's just so good. Just a doer. That's doer for the people. Doer because you want to stay busy is one, but then being driven by the fact that there is still things to do. Still things that you go, I reckon we could do that better. We may have 700 million in credit. I was going to say in debt, but no, in credit that we can maybe fix these problems with. And so let's do it. Why would I retire now? What would I do? I would just be sitting at home going, I reckon I could have done a better job. And if people say go out there and if you need to do something, do it yourself, why would she retire? Because then she's just going to be, I guess, frustrated by the change of leadership, maybe. And if everyone feels like she can continue promoting and building this entire city along in a very positive way, then why would you not do it? It's so good. On the other hand, though, I don't know if I want to be Rick right here. That probably is a really expensive model considering it's a future model. I mean, it was 15 years ago, so it would have been at the start of CAD, but still, like to have it actually built to that scale, I'm not tripping over. I'm not falling over. I'm not doing anything like that and crushing that multi-hundreds of thousands of dollars model that they would have built right there. And even though we are missing a few pixels, I would love to know how similar is this model compared to real life. I mean, it looks very green for one. Maybe that's just a sign of the area, the geological kind of greenness of the area. I mean, a city can make it a concrete jungle, but at the same time, just how green the city is naturally, or has this city actually been designed to be more green than its predecessor, so to say? And how many of these buildings ended up getting built? How many got approved? How many got denied? How many originals like didn't need to get renovated and torn down or anything like that? What is actually different and what is actually better? Why did they make this model? Because I guess they can. Because I guess they had the money to go, you know what? Let's not live in the current, let's live in the future, which is what I've been asking everyone to do forever. Instead of just going, let's fix this problem on the fly right now. No, if we can project out and just do models like this and actually model it. Like, I think it was, San Francisco, they had a whole plan to kind of flood the bay, and then they made a literal model about it, and they realized that it's probably not the best idea. They went, it's probably going to cause some serious ecological damages and property damages and everything like that, so they didn't do it. And so models can help people so much, but they cost a lot of money. And so when you have the cash to splash and you have the foresight and you have the history and the future in one, like she has so much experience, especially apparently just making all the right decisions for 30 years. That's why people keep people around. And so if you have that kind of history and personnel making decisions for the future, yes, please.
You go, I'm exhausted.
I always forget. Let's see. It's a little ball. Interesting. Oh, very big ball. She's gonna win, isn't she?
Now, Hazel,
That's crazy. I mean, I don't think I've ever actually seen 5-pin bowling. I've heard it as a fleeting kind of concept, but I've never actually seen it. That's why I was surprised by the fact that it's a smaller ball, but the fact that there's a bigger gap between the pins. So in terms of them all knocking and dominoing affect each other over, the fact that you got a strike, I mean, maybe it's kind of just as easy statistically or in reality, but realistically it feels like it'd be way harder. Like the ball can go through the gaps. I mean, I guess you won't have the ball going between the actual pins and the gutters, because there seems to be one right at the corner there, but then I guess it would just present its own set of challenges, even just how your eye kind of picks it, going from 10-pin bowling to 5-pin bowling and kind of picking the gaps and how that affects your throw, all of those kind of things, let alone even just holding onto the ball. It feels like, do your fingers go in the ball, or is it a tiny ball, or do you more just roll the whole sphere down the bowling alley, if that's what it's even called? I mean, hopefully you don't drop it like Rick does and just make them spend some of that 700 million just in damages towards this entire place, going, oh, sorry about your bowling alley, but hey, we can afford to fix it.
Now, Hazel, what's your approval rating?
92% of the vote.
You got 92% of the vote.
Yes.
Having been the mayor for 11 terms, any regrets?
Wow.
Yeah, transportation was not a basis of our development, unfortunately. Therefore, we are now struggling to provide a major public transit system.
Okay. And personally?
I've never been in a music video.
Oh, look at that. It's amazing how no one can ever have it all, I guess, can you? You can be so onto it in your old age, which so many people don't equate because I guess of so many different diseases, but at the same time, if you are still with it, man, that experience, you can see how someone can be just wise, how they can just be kind of all-knowing. They can have all these different fingers and all these different pies and just truly be able to go, yeah, I know my approval rating, but I also know that we haven't done it perfectly, and I wish that we developed our entire public network, our entire public transport network better. But then realistically, when you were still winning after 11 votes, 92%, why would anyone else even bother? Like, if I was having to run against her, I just would go, can I just be your assistant or something? I mean, I might feel like I have a few good ideas, but I'm not going to win, so I might as well not try and even fight the enemy. I'm just going to become one with you. Please take me on board. And I reckon a lot of people could learn a lot from her. Man, that's just so crazy. And actually, I'm wondering now, is her biggest regret with the public transport network the entire reason why she has that model of the future of the city? If you're going, well, we've done all these good things, but I really think that the city to be continuing to carry itself forward and to almost continue my legacy of just good after good after good after good after good for 31 years, I think it's time, and I think it really would benefit from a massive overhaul of the public transport network. And so maybe why stop there? Why not just do the entire city while we're at it? And so that's where that entire model of the city was kind of spawned from. I mean, I'm sure it's not just that simple, but if you're going, we've ticked every other box, and yes, I'm keeping myself busy, and yes, I'm doing all these good things, but if we can just continue that good track record, why not? And we have 700 million, so we might as well just spend it eventually. I mean, there's going to be bad parts in the future that we might have to spend it on, but not 700 million. Not when you just continually collect like that. And so that's going to be interesting. I wonder what happened there. Does all of the city, or even just the inner city, have just a major overhaul as part of the entire model, or not? How do they actually manage that? Because it was 15 years ago. A lot can change in it, well, maybe longer. A lot can change in at least 15 years. And also, she said that her approval rating was only 92%, and so in that regards, if you look at it from a cup half empty point of view, there's still another 8% of people out there that you can go after, and maybe, 7.9% of them might be public transport network voters. And so that's what you got to go do.
Any regrets?
Yeah, transportation was not a basis of our development, unfortunately. Therefore, we are now struggling to provide a major public transit system.
Okay. And personally?
I've never been in a music video.
That's crazy.
Yeah, oh, wonderful. I like your hat. How you doing?
It's so good. Is that the entire... Wow. Everyone just sings to nice work. Very, very nice work. After all of that, just to be ticking off your one of two regrets. I mean, maybe there was more regrets, but you had professional regrets and personal regrets. And if that's the first thing that comes to mind, I think you've done very well. I think you have had almost the perfect life, especially because then you got to just tick it off. I mean, it might not be the perfect music video, it might be a little bit of a Rick one, competitive one that you might have been first thinking of, but I reckon it counts, and I reckon it counts almost for more when you were just backed by all these people from all walks of life, from all age groups, just being able to walk down the street, everyone knows you to that degree where you can shake their hand, go for a skate. Oh, wow, what an incredible person. And I don't know what has since happened since this video, but still, it honestly doesn't even matter, because the legacy from the city that you've built and you've run and you've committed yourself to for so long, from all aspects, from sporting to professional to everything else in between, is very impressive. And so if the rest of the world could only have a person that was a tenth as good, I reckon the world would be looking pretty darn good. So, wow, Mississauga, you were very lucky. And I hope that things haven't gone south in recent years, because I don't know if I'd hope that she retired, because she said that she didn't want to retire, but she certainly deserved plenty of rest. Man, 88 and still running a city and still so sharp, both on and off the ice rink. Wow, man, it's just impressive.